Story time! You want to know what the secret is to having a happy life? I was talking to an artist down in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and he told me when I asked him how did he get his start in business down on the arts and crafts loop. If you haven't seen it, haven't heard of it, it is a historic loop in Gatlinburg where it's hundreds of artists and they all have their shops. And you could just take the trolley or you could walk in and out of the shops, drive to them all and visit with the artists, talk to them, buy their work. We're talking oil, we're talking woodwork, we're talking stone, we're talking glass, ceramics, you name it, the artists are there. So anyway, I asked him, how did you get your start, And he said this. He said that when he was young, he was working in an ad agency in graphic design, but he wasn't feeling fulfilled and he wasn't very happy. He was married and he just felt restless. And his mother gave him the best advice ever and he took it. She told him this, and this is the secret. She said, son, you better follow your dreams while you're young and you have nothing to lose, because when you get older, you have a lot more to lose and you become scared and then you won't do it. And with that, he gave notice and he quit his job and him and his wife moved down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Anyway, they lived in a camper to save money because they were broke. They lived in a camper that they had bought out in a campground. And he went up into the mountains and he started doing these paintings. He got about 10 of them. He found a tiny little shop. He said it was very run down, had mouse holes in the walls and they were stuffing rags trying to keep the mice out. That's how run down it was, but it was all they could afford. He sets up his shop. Within a week, one man had come in that bought everything, all 10 of his paintings. And he said, sir, will you please leave me one painting so I can use that as a display until I can quickly paint others and then I will ship it to you. The man was very obliging and that is what happened. So as he and his wife, they got pregnant, had a baby, still living in the campground in a camper now, saving their money, living very frugally as he worked and sold his paintings and built up his business. And then they were able to afford to go into a little bit bigger, nicer shop. And that's what they did. And they cash flow everything without debt. So as they saved up their money by living so cheaply in the campground, they were able to purchase a plot of land. And they moved the camper onto the land and they lived there several more years and baby number 2 came. And then after a while, as they saved their money and lived very frugally for years, we're talking years, they were able to build a little house and move out of the camper into the little house that's on their paid for land. And then as the babies kept coming and the house expanding, they cash flowed another room onto the house and then another room, the next year, and as it went. And the last time I saw him was probably 14 years ago. He had retired now and everything was totally paid for with no debt, and he had a very lucrative business towards the end. But people, that is the secret to having no regrets when you're older and having no debt so you can live nicely when you're younger and be able to afford things so that way you can have your own house if you don't go bougie. Peace out.